They said you're too old for long hair. They were wrong. For decades, women over 50 have been told to cut their hair short, as if age automatically disqualifies them from flowing, elegant styles. This rule wasn't written by you or by the reflection in your mirror. It was created by outdated standards that tied long hair to youth and short hair to maturity. And too many of us believed it without ever asking, why? Here's the truth. Long hair doesn't have an age limit. It has intention. When treated with care and styled with confidence, it can soften your features, brighten your presence, and remind the world and yourself that beauty does not retire at 50. Imagine walking into a room at 60 or 70, your silver hair shining, styled in waves that frame your face. People don't see age first. They see energy, elegance, and a woman who knows exactly who she is. So let me ask you, have you ever cut your hair not because you wanted to, but because you thought you had to? Have you ever looked in the mirror and missed the feeling of brushing your hair, of letting it fall freely, of seeing it move with you? If you have, then this video is for you. Over the next few minutes, we'll break down the myths that have limited women for generations. You'll discover why long hair, when cared for properly, can be your secret weapon of style. You'll hear real stories from women who chose to grow their hair again and found not only beauty, but also a sense of freedom. And you'll walk away with practical, professional tips to make long hair work for your face, your lifestyle, and your confidence. Stay with me until the end, because the most important lesson isn't about what others say. It's about what you choose to see when you look at yourself. The short hair myth. In the United States during the 1950s and 1960s, women over 40 were expected to adopt short, practical hairstyles. Fashion magazines, commercials, and Hollywood films promoted the idea that maturity meant restraint, modesty, and neatness. Long hair, on the other hand, was linked to youth, rebellion, and even irresponsibility. A 1963 Gallup survey reported that more than 70% of American women over 45 wore short hair, not necessarily out of preference, but because they believed it was the standard. Many of them never asked themselves if they truly wanted to cut their hair. They simply followed the cultural script. I remember my own mother reaching 50 and immediately cutting her long hair after a neighbor told her it was the respectable thing to do. She did not do it out of joy. She did it out of fear of judgment. That moment stayed with me for decades. Today, as a woman in my 60s who has worked in fashion and beauty for years, I can say with certainty, style is freedom, and no one has the authority to dictate the length of your hair based on your age. Hair should reflect identity, not compliance. Modern women prove this every day. Jennifer Lopez at 54 walks red carpets with flowing hair. Sarah Jessica Parker at 58 continues to embrace her signature waves. Andie MacDowell at 65 lets her silver mane cascade naturally, transforming it into a symbol of elegance. These women demonstrate that long hair does not belong to the young, it belongs to anyone confident enough to wear it with intention. So the question is not whether society accepts your hairstyle, but whether you accept yourself when you look in the mirror. Have you ever cut your hair only because of social pressure? Have you ever denied yourself the joy of long, healthy hair because you feared what others would say? If so, it may be time to reclaim the choice that was always yours. Once you let go of outdated rules, another conversation emerges. Does long hair truly make a woman look older, or can it actually enhance her presence and vitality? The illusion of age in long hair. For decades, women have asked the same question. Does long hair automatically make you look older? The answer is not that simple. Imagine two women, both 65, both wearing their hair past their shoulders. One keeps her hair well hydrated, adds soft layers, trims the ends regularly, and styles it with movement. The other leaves it dull, heavy, and uneven, perhaps because she no longer believes her hair deserves attention. The difference is striking. They are the same age, yet one looks radiant and youthful, while the other appears tired, not because of the length but because of the lack of care. Research from the American Academy of Dermatology shows that as we age, our scalp produces fewer natural oils, which can make long hair appear dry and lifeless if ignored. But when nourished properly, long hair can actually soften facial features, add femininity, and frame the face in flattering ways. Have you ever noticed how gentle waves around the cheeks can blur the appearance of lines better than any expensive cream? From my own experience, I learned this lesson at 61. I once went nearly a year without trimming my hair, thinking I should just let it be. The result was lifeless strands that weighed down my face. The moment I added light layers and subtle highlights, I looked in the mirror and saw vibrancy again. It wasn't about chasing youth, it was about honoring myself. So I ask you, when you look in the mirror, do you see hair that reflects who you are or hair that reflects neglect? What if the secret was not length but intention? Try soft layers to create movement, gentle waves to open the face, and products that add shine. Long hair will only age you if you stop loving it. And that brings us to the deeper question. If hair can hold so much power over how we feel, could it also carry the emotional memories of our lives? That is where the real story begins. Hair as a memory keeper. Hair is not only a frame for the face, it is a witness to a lifetime. Think about the moments hidden in each strand. When you were young, perhaps you let it fall freely in the wind on summer afternoons. Later during motherhood, you may have tied it back quickly to manage a busy day. At night, you might have brushed it slowly, not just to detangle, but to feel a sense of calm before sleep. These are not simply habits. They are rituals that hold memory. I remember the first time I brushed my daughter's hair before school. She was nervous about her new class, and while I carefully parted her long hair, I told her stories about my own childhood. That moment bonded us in a way words never could. Years later, when she brushed mine during my recovery from surgery, I felt the same tenderness returned. How can anyone say that hair is just hair when it carries such intimacy? Many women who cut their hair short in midlife did not do so because they wanted to. They felt pressured, told it was easier, more practical, or appropriate. Yet I have seen countless women, when they let their hair grow again, rediscover a version of themselves they thought was lost. One client told me, "The first time I saw my silver hair fall over my shoulders again, I felt whole. Not young again, but authentically me." So I ask you, what memories live in your hair? Do you recall the scent of your mother's perfume when she brushed yours, or the pride you felt when styling it for a first date? If hair can carry such personal history, why would we surrender it to outdated rules? And this leads us naturally to a practical matter. If long hair is to be kept as a symbol of self, how do we make sure it complements the face we wear today? That is where the conversation becomes less about memory and more about harmony. Finding harmony between hair and face. When it comes to long hair after 50 or 60, harmony is everything. The question is not whether you can wear long hair, but how to make it complement the features you already have. The right cut and texture can transform long hair from heavy and aging into light, flattering, and modern. Let's start with face shape. If your face is round, layers that frame the cheeks and add length visually will be your best friend. A soft side part or gentle waves can elongate the look, giving more balance. For a long or narrow face, the opposite is true. Volume at the sides is key. Loose curls or bangs create width and softness, making the face appear fuller. Square faces benefit from movement at the ends. Avoid styles that fall too stiff or blunt. And if you have an oval face, you're in luck. Nearly any style works, so you can experiment with layers, texture, and length with confidence. Texture matters just as much. Fine hair tends to flatten with age, but light layering and volumizing products can bring it back to life. Thick hair may need thinning or softening so it doesn't weigh down the face. Curly hair is often misunderstood, but when hydrated properly, it adds youth and vitality. And then there is silver or white hair, a natural evolution many women fear, yet when polished with the right shampoo and shine-enhancing products, it can be breathtakingly elegant. According to a 2022 AARP survey, more than 40% of women over 50 are now choosing to embrace their natural gray, a trend that proves authenticity is more powerful than conformity. I speak from experience. At 62, I allowed my natural silver to grow in, but I paired it with face-framing layers. The compliments I received were not about looking younger, but about looking radiant and confident. That shift in perspective was liberating. So ask yourself, does your hair work with your face or against it? Are you hiding behind outdated styles or highlighting the beauty you already have? Once you find harmony, long hair stops being a question of age. It becomes a statement of balance and intention. And of course, harmony means nothing without care. Because even the most flattering style will lose its charm if the hair itself isn't healthy. That brings us to the essential question every woman with long hair over 50 must ask. How do I maintain it so it stays vibrant and strong? The ritual of care. Long hair at 50, 60, or beyond is not about luck, it is about care. Hair naturally loses elasticity and shine with age because the scalp produces fewer oils. Ignoring this reality is what makes hair look tired, not the years on your passport. A consistent routine can bring back vitality and turn hair care into a form of self-respect. Hydration is the foundation. Choose a sulfate-free shampoo and a conditioner enriched with argan oil, coconut oil, or shea butter. Once a week, apply a nourishing mask and let it sit for at least 10 minutes. Think of it not as maintenance but as a ritual. The American Academy of Dermatology notes that hydration reduces breakage by nearly 30% in aging hair. That statistic alone should convince you that moisture is non-negotiable. Regular trims matter too. Many women resist cutting even half an inch, afraid of losing length. Yet split ends only travel upward, making the hair weaker. A trim every 6 to 8 weeks actually helps you grow long hair that looks healthy rather than straggly. Brushing is another underestimated act. Use a natural bristle brush, start at the ends, and move upward gently. At my age, I've learned that tugging or forcing hair does more damage than heat tools ever could. Treat your hair with patience, and it will reward you. Speaking of heat, minimize it. Flat irons, curling wands, and blow dryers are tempting, but they strip moisture quickly. If you must use them, always apply a heat protectant. Do not forget the inside. Nutrition plays as big a role as products. Omega-3 fatty acids, lean proteins, and iron support stronger hair growth. Supplements like biotin or collagen may help, but always consult your doctor. Scalp massage, even for 5 minutes at night, stimulates blood flow and doubles as relaxation. Finally, embrace your natural color with pride. If you dye, choose gentle formulas. If you keep your silver, polish it with purple shampoos that enhance shine. The goal is not perfection, it is representation. Healthy hair is simply hair that looks loved. And here lies the beauty of long hair past 50. It forces you to slow down, to dedicate time to yourself, and to practice care without apology. Yet beyond the products and the science, hair is also about identity and confidence. Which leads to a more inspiring question. Can long hair after 50 be more than beauty? Can it become a source of empowerment? Stories of strength and style. Every rule we break becomes easier when someone has gone before us. I think of Margaret, a retired professor I met at a women's style workshop in Boston. She was 70, with a crown of long silver hair that fell well past her shoulders. At first glance, she looked regal, like wisdom personified. But when she spoke, she admitted she had cut her hair short for almost 30 years because she thought it was the respectful thing to do. After retiring, she let it grow again. For the first time in decades, she told me, I feel like myself, not a role I was playing. The applause she received from the group was proof that authenticity resonates more deeply than convention. Another story comes from Denise, a 55-year-old single mother from California. For years, she wore a cropped cut because her corporate office demanded a professional image. When she was laid off, she saw it as freedom to reinvent herself. She began to grow her hair, added soft waves, and even let her natural gray shine through. 1 year later, she confessed with a smile, I started dating again. I hadn't dared in years, but my reflection finally gave me permission. For her, long hair wasn't about vanity, it was a symbol of renewed courage. Statistics support these transformations. According to a 2022 AARP survey, nearly half of women over 50 now say they choose hairstyles based on personal expression rather than social expectation. This marks a significant cultural shift. It tells us that hair is no longer just a matter of appearance, it is an emblem of freedom. So let me ask you, who do you think of when you see your reflection? The woman bound by rules or the woman writing her own story? Real women like Margaret and Denise prove that hair length can be more than a style choice. It can be a declaration of independence. Which brings us to the heart of the matter. Once you embrace your hair as a symbol of self, what lesson does it leave you with about beauty, aging, and identity? That's the reflection worth ending on. At the end of the day, the length of your hair is not what defines you. What truly matters is how you feel when you look in the mirror. Long or short, silver or colored, styled or simple, your hair should reflect confidence, self-respect, and authenticity. After 50, you no longer owe the world conformity. You owe yourself honesty. There are no rules left to follow except the ones you write for yourself. If long hair makes you feel radiant, wear it proudly. If short hair makes you feel strong and free, then that is just as beautiful. Beauty at this stage of life is not about fitting in, it's about standing tall in your own choices. So I want to hear from you. Are you wearing your hair long or short right now, and how does it make you feel? Share your experience in the comments, because your story may inspire another woman who is still hesitating. And if today's conversation gave you something to think about, I invite you to subscribe to this channel. Here we talk about fashion, hair, and style with one goal: helping women over 50 feel more elegant, more confident, and more authentically themselves. Thank you for spending this time with me. I appreciate every moment you've shared here, and I hope you leave with a renewed sense of freedom and possibility. Remember, age does not decide your beauty, you do. I'll see you in the next video, where we'll continue this journey together. Until then, take care of yourself, love your hair, and never stop choosing what makes you feel alive.